श्लोक महला पहला। दीवा बलै अंधेरा जाए, वेद पाठ मत पापा खाए। उगवै सूर न जापै चंद, जह ज्ञान प्रकाश अज्ञान मिटंत। वेद पाठ संसार की कार, पढ़ पढ़ पंडित करे विचार। बिन बूझे सब हुए खुआर, नानक गुरमुख उतरस पार। By reciting the Vedas in the praise of Vaheguru, we dispel all our sins and vices from within, just as the lighting of a lamp makes the darkness disappear. Similarly, the darkness of ignorance disappears with the enlightenment of knowledge, just as with the appearance of the sun, the moon's light is not to be seen. The study of the Vedas is the normal practice in the world, and the Pandits continue their discourses having read and studied various books of lore. O Nanak, without realizing the secrets of Vaheguru, without attaining God, the whole world is suffering, but the Gurmukhs, Guru-minded people, are enabled to cross this ocean of life successfully. महला पहला। शब्दै साधनायो, नाम न लगो प्यार। रसना फिक्का बोलना, नित नित होए खुआर। नानक पइयै किरत कमावना, कोई न मेटण हार। The faithless people, they have not developed the love of true name without enjoying the bliss of Guru's word. By speaking crude language, they undergo all sorts of afflictions. O Nanak, the people have to bear the fruit of their own actions, and no one could ever alter it. Pauri je prabh salahe apna, सो सो भाव पाए। होमे विछों दूर कर, सच मन वसाए। सच बाणी गुण उच्चरै, सच्चा सुख पाए। मेल भया चिरे विछुन्निया, गुरपुरख मिलाए। मन में लाए विशुद्ध है, हर नाम ध्याए। People who sing praises of God, they get honored in the world as they get imbued with the love of truth by ridding themselves of their egoism. They enjoy the real bliss of life by singing praises of God through Guru's word. Guru has enabled us to unite with Vaheguru, from whom we were separated for long. Thus we could purify our heart, which has been made filthy with vicious thoughts. Slok Mahalla Pehla। Kaya Kumal Full Gun, Nanak Gupas Mal। Inni fully ro kare, avar ke chuniye dal। O Nanak, let us make a necklace of God's love by reciting true name with the tongue, by using the flowers of virtues plucked from the plant of this body with the help of our intelligence. What is the use of removing the branches of the tree for making this rosary, instead of using the rosary of flowers, winning the pleasure and acceptance of God? महला दूजा। नानक तिना बसंत है, जिन कर वसया कंत। जिनके कंत दिसापुरी, से अहनिस फिरे जलंत। O Nanak, such people who are immersed in God's love, they enjoy the bliss of the spring season, whereas those people whose spouses have gone to distant lands, they do not enjoy the bliss, and they are burning in the fire of separation. Pauri आपे बख्शे दया कर, गुर सतगुर बचनी, अन दिन सेवी गुण रवा, मन सच्चै रचनी। प्रभु मेरा बेअंत है, अंत किने न लखनी, सतगुर चरणी लग गया, हर नाम नित जपनी। जो इच्छा सो फल पाइसी, सब कर विच जचनी। That Vaheguru bestows on us His grace by following Guru's teachings and blessings on us with His benevolence. Let us therefore serve that Vaheguru day and night by singing His praises, by inculcating His love in the heart. My God is truly great and limitless, and no one has been able to decipher His limits. By serving the lotus feet of that Vaheguru, we could always recite His true name. By reciting true name, we could get all our desires fulfilled, and all the cherished hopes are realized through His love. Shlok Mahalla Pehla, पहल बसंत आगमन, पहला मोलियो सोए, जित मोलिया सब मोलिया, तिसे न मोलियो कोए. The name of the Basant season is the first and most pleasant of all seasons, and out of all the trees, the Basant only blossoms first of all. Similarly, the God is the first and foremost power to be blossomed, which in turn arranges to blossom all other trees or plants. Who arranges or causes these plants to blossom? In fact, all are pleased when that God accepts someone with pleasure, but no one manages to please Him through this worship. Mahalla Duja, पहल बसंत आगमन, तिसका करो विचार, नानक सो सालाही है, जे सब सै दे आधार. महला दूजा, मिलिए मिलिया ना मिले, मिले मिलिया जे होए, अंतर आत्मै जो मिले, मिलिया कहिए सोए. O Nanak, let us deliberate to worship that God who was present before the advent of the spring season. We should sing praises of Him and worship Him who supports all of us. Such people who are engrossed in worldly pleasures, or even those who mingle with such people, they never get united with true God. Similarly, the Guru-minded people are united with God, who is pervading everywhere, being omnipresent. And those who are joining the company of such Guru-minded people, they are also known to be merged with Vaheguru. Pauri हर हर नाम सलाहिए, सच कार कमावे, दूजी कारै लगिया, फिर जोनी पावे. नाम रत्या नाम पाइए, नामी गुण गावे, गुर कै शब्द सलाहिए, हर नाम समावे. सतगुर सेवा सफल है, सेविए फलो पावे. People who recite God's true name, they are supposed to be engaged in truthful functions. However, by engaging oneself in other function, they suffer through cycle of births and deaths again and again. We should always sing praises of true name, being immersed in it, as we could attain God only by developing love of true name. If we were to sing praises of God by realizing true teachings of the Guru's word, then we get immersed in true name. Thus, we service the Guru, and that leads us to successful or fruitful life. Whosoever serves the Guru makes a success of this life. Shlok Mahalla Duja, Kisi koi koe manjini manik tu, क्यों ना मरी जाए रोए जा लग चित ना आवई. O Vaheguru, you are the only support of this helpless and humble devotee of yours. Some people depend upon someone, whereas some others have support of somebody else. Why should we not accept death so long we do not remember that Vaheguru by reciting true name? Without remembering that Vaheguru, one is as good as dead. Mahla Duja ਜਾਂ ਸੁਖ ਤਾ ਸਹੁਰਾਵਿਓ ਦੁਖ ਵੀ ਸੰਭਾਲਿਓ ਏ ਨਾਨਕ ਕਹੈ ਸਿਆਣੀਏ ਇਉ ਕੰਠ ਮਿਲਾਵਾ ਹੋਏ. O Nanak, let us remember that God and recite true name, whether we are enjoying all the comforts or sufferings through great hardships. O clever friend, that is how one could unite with God's spouse, like a wedded woman wins the acceptance of her husband God. Pauri hau kya salahi kirm jant vaddi teri vadiyai. तू अगम दयाल अगम है आप लहे मिलाए. मैं तुझ बिन बेली को नहीं तू अंत सखाई. जो तेरी शरणागति तिन लहे छड़ाए. नानक वे परवाह है तिस तिल ना तमाई. O Vaheguru, how could a person like me, who is no more than a worm, sing the praises of Vaheguru, who is highest and the greatest power, worthy of all praises? O God benefactor, you are too deep for a probe and beyond our comprehensions, and you could unite us with yourself on your own. O Vaheguru, I have no other friend or support except you, as you are the only companion in the end. O Nanak, whosoever seeks refuge at the lotus feet of God gets freed from worldly bondage. O Vaheguru, you are the most carefree individual without any greed. राग सुही बाणी श्री कबीर जियो तथा सबना भगता की. कबीर के एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद. अवतर आए कहा तुम कीना राम को नाम न कबूलीना. राम न जपो कवन मत लागे मर जाइबे को क्या करो अभागे. रहाओ दुख सुख कर कै कुटुम जीवाया मरती बारिक सर दुख पाया. कंठ गहन तब करन पुकारा कहे कबीर आगे तेना समारा. O foolish and vicious person, what have you gained? The world, even being bestowed with this most valuable human life. In fact, you have never bothered to even recite true name of God. O brother, what vicious and bad advice you have taken and followed. O unfortunate human, why are you so engrossed in certain actions leading to death, which keep you wandering in the cycle of births and deaths? Pause. People who have maintained and looked after the needs of their family members with lot of hardships and sufferings have undergone greater sufferings at the time of their death. O Kabir, you will cry out when the Yama will pounce on you and catch hold of you. Then the Yama will say, O mean and foolish person, only God's true name could have saved you from this torture, which you have not bothered to recite earlier when it was possible. Suhi Kabir ji, thar har kampai bala jiyo, na jano क्या करसी पियो. रैन गई मत दिन भी जाए पवर गए बग बैठे आए. रहाओ काछे करवे रहे न पानी हंस चलिया काया कुमलानी. क्वार कन्या जैसे कर श्रृंगारा क्यों रलिया माने बाज पधारा. काग उड़ावत भुजा पिरानी कहे कबीर कथा सिरानी. I am not aware to what treatment I will get at the hands of my true master. That is why this foolish human being, bereft of patience and contentment, is trembling with fear. The night, the period of youth, has been spent without any fruitful purpose, and I am worried lest this period of day of old age may not be wasted in the same way without achieving anything worthwhile or without reciting true name. Now all the black hair have vanished and grey hair have grown with snow white head. Pause. This human body also gets withered as soon as soul leaves this body, just as a soft pitcher cannot retain water and it oozes out in slow time. How could an unwedded woman, in spite of beautification, enjoy the bliss with the company of her husband God? She cannot enjoy the bliss of married woman even though she may perform any formal rituals. O Kabir, similarly, the ill-fated woman spends this whole life in wasteful efforts and suffers the pangs of separation like a separated woman without the unison of God's spouse. Suhi Kabir jiyo amal sirano lekha dena आए कठिन दूत जम लेना क्या तय खटिया कहाँ गवाया चलो सिताब दीवान बुलाया चल दर हाल दीवान बुलाया हर फुरमान दर कह काया रहा. When the Yama, god of death, arrives to punish the individual after death, we will have to account for all our actions in life, as all our good actions have already come to an end. We cannot perform any more actions to get away from this suffering. O mortal, what have you gained in this life which was given to you for a good cause, as you have to leave this world soon, since the call of death from the God of justice, Dharamraj, has come and there is no delay now. O brother, the call of death has come from assistant of the God of justice, and you have to leave forthwith in whatever state you are. There could not be a minute's delay. It is not only a call of Dharamraj, but a direct order from the God's court itself, so you cannot brook any delay. Pause. करो अरदास गाव किछ बाकी लेओ निबेर आज की राती किछ भी खर्च तुम्हारा सारो सुबह निवाज सराय गुजारो. I could only make a request to God to delay it for a while, as I have some action to perform to settle my account through this human body. So let me finish this job. O Vaheguru, the originator of the call of death, I will part with some of my doings to you, and I will perform my morning prayers on the way to God's court. साध संग जाको हर लंग लागा तन तन सोजन पुरख सभागा ईत ऊत जन सदा सुहेले जन्म पदारथ जीत अमोले. Blessed are the fortunate people who are imbued with the love of God in the company of holy saints, as they enjoy the eternal bliss in this world and the next, having won the battle of life. जागत सोया जन्म गवाया माल तन जोरिया भया पराया कहो कबीर ते नर भूले खसम बिसार माटी संगरूले. Person who has wasted this life in this slumber of ignorance has lost the battle, and all the wealth amassed in life now belongs to others after death. O Kabir, such people who have forsaken God's worship have mingled with dust and have lost this battle of life. Suhi Kabir jiyo lalit thake nain sravan sun thake थाकी सुंदर काया जरा हाक दी सब मत था कि एक न था कस माया। बावरे तय ज्ञान विचार न पाया, वृथा जन्म गवाया रहाओ। तब लग प्राणी तिसै सरे वहु, जब लग कट में सासा। जे कट जाए ता पाओ न जासी, हर के चरण निवासा। Our eyes are also tired and the ears have gotten tired, being fed up with listening to, along with a beautiful body which is equally tired. The old age is approaching fast, while the wisdom, being engrossed in worldly pleasures, is also fed up. But, oh my God, the greed of worldly falsehood has not been lessened in the mind at all. O foolish person, you have not gained yet the meditative and pensive mood which could enlighten you. So this human life has been wasted in fruitless efforts. Pause. O human being, try to serve the God so long this life exists. Even if this body ceases to exist, the important fact is that the love of God should not vanish and this mind should rest at the lotus feet of God. जिसको शब्द बसावे अंतर, चूकै तिसहि प्यासा। हुक्मे भूजै चौपड़ खेलै, मन जिण टाले पासा। जो जन जान उपजय विगत को, तिनका कछु न नासा। कहो कबीर तेजन कभू न हारे, टाल जो जाने पासा। Vaheguru has inculcated his love in the heart of the person, and then his thirst of worldly possessions has died down and he follows God's will. Thus he wins the battle of life like winning the game of chess and controls mind with clever moves. O Kabir, person who worships and remembers Vaheguru, considering him formless and detached, does not lose anything. However, the person who knows what moves to follow in this life never loses the battle of life and leads a life of success. Suhi lalit kabir jiyo, ek kot panch sikdara, panche मांगे हाला। जिमी नाही में किसी की बोई, ऐसा दीन दुखाला। हर के लोगा मोको नीत डसै पटवारी, ऊपर पूजा कर मैं गुर पै पुकारिया, तिन हो लिया उबारी रहाओ। This human body is like a fort wherein there are 5 vices that function as the leaders and demand punitive tax from people. However, I have not given any importance to any of these vices and have not sought the feel of anyone. So why should I pay the land revenue or any of this punitive tax? To pay such a tax becomes very painful. O men of the God, I am daily bothered and troubled by Dharamraj like the Patwari, but when I approach the Guru for help with my arms raised up, being helpless and taking Guru's support, I am now enjoying all the bliss and comforts. So the God has protected my honor. Pause. नौ डाडी दस मुंसफ तावहे, रैयत बसन देही। डोरी पूरी मापे नाही, बहु बिसटाला लेही। बेहतर कारिक पुरख समाया, उन दिया नाम लिखाई। धर्मराय का दफ्तर सो दिया, बाकी रिजम न खाई। There are 9 outlets in this body with 10 senses working within for purpose of justice, and they do not allow good qualities to prosper within this body like the subjects under the control of mind. They do not evaluate all the factors and they do not worry about their actions and take lot of punitive fines and trouble us with their unholy actions. There is something good in the body of the Guru The Guru-minded people whose name has been inculcated in my heart by the Guru has helped me to settle my accounts with the God of justice. Nothing is outstanding against me anymore. O friend, the saints are the embodiment of God and both are on equal footing. संता को मत कोई निंदो, संत राम है को कहो कबीर मैं सो गुर पाया जाका नाम विवेको. Let us not slander the saints anymore. O Kabir, I have attained such a Guru who is fully enlightened and has become one with the God. So my actions have now been settled through the Guru's grace. राग सुही बाणी श्री रविदास जियो की, एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद. सह की सार सुहागन जाने, तज अभिमान सुख लिया माने. तन मन दे न अंतर राखे, अवरा देख न सुने अपाखे. सो कत जाने पीर पराई, जाके अंतर दर्द न पाई. रहाओ. O brother, the person imbued with the love of God alone knows the bliss of God's presence and His unison, like the happy soul bride who has enjoyed the conjugal bliss of husband God. They have enjoyed eternal bliss by following God's will, winning His acceptance, having cast away their egoism. With complete self-surrender, they do not find any distinction between themselves and the God, and they have sacrificed the body and mind to the God's spouse. Such a person is immersed in oneself without saying anything to friends or listening to their talk. O friend, how could be the person without the love and pain in the heart for another person appreciate the anguish of others? Pause. दुखी दुहागन दुए पखहीनी, जिनना निरंतर भगत न कीनी. पुर सलात का पंतु हेला, संग न साथी गवन खेला. Such a separated person from God will suffer both here and hereafter without enjoying the bliss of God, like a separated woman missing the love of her spouse. In fact, such a person has neither served the God nor has worshipped Him and has not united with God. The path to Vahiguru's presence is arduous and one has to tread it all alone without any companion. दुखिया दर्दवंद दर आया, बहुत प्यास जवाब न पाया. कह रविदास शरण प्रभु तेरी, जो जानो त्यों करगत मेरी. O Vahiguru, O our well-wisher, I have approached your door through the company of holy saints with great pain and anguish. I am longing to have your glimpse, but I have had no response from you. O Ravidas, I have sought the support of God. O Vahiguru, may you protect my honor as it pleases you, as I depend solely on your support. Suhi, jo din aave, so din jahi. करना खोज कहन थिर नाही. संग चलत है हम भी चलना, दूर गवर सिर ऊपर मरना. क्या तू सोया जागियाना, तय जीवन जग सच कर जाना. रहा. The day dawns and passes away as a routine, and we also will be subjected to death and pass away, as we will not last forever. If we look around, we find many of our colleagues have already gone, facing death, and our turn has come. This death, which seemed to be very distant earlier, now seems to be approaching fast and almost at hand. As such, we are to face this death soon. O human, why are you lying in the slumber of ignorance? Why you do not wake up and act sensibly? You have considered this transient life as true and permanent, and you have forsaken the God completely. Pause. जिन जियो दिया सूरज घबरावे, सब कट भीतर हाथ चलावे, कर बंदगी छाड़ में मेरा, हृदय नाम समार सवेरा. The true Master who has bestowed this body has blessed you with the soul inside and has provided you with full sustenance and wealth as support for this life. The true Master who provides this human body with all requirements and food for sustenance is managing the worldly business. O foolish man, let us recite true name of God daily, both in the mornings and evenings, leaving aside I-amness and selfishness by inculcating His love in our heart. Janam Sirano Panthana Savara, Sanj Pari De Dis Dhyara, Keh Ravidas Nidan Divane, Chetas Nahi Duniya Fan Khane. O Ravidas, this invaluable human life has been wasted in egoism without any useful purpose, and we have not prepared the path for proceeding towards next world. Nor with arrival of old age, the evening of life, this total darkness in all 10 directions, and death is staring us in the face. O fool, why do you not recite true name by worshipping the God, thus making the success of this life? Ik Omkar Satgur Prasad, Rag Suhi Bani Sheikh Farid Ji ki, Tap tap lohi lohi हाथ मरोरो, बावल होई सो सहोलोरो, तैसे मन में किया रोस, मुझ अवगन सहे नहीं दोष. तै साहिब की मैं सार न जानी, जोबन खोए पाछे पछतानी रहाओ. I am madly in search of my God's spouse, and I am in great suffering, completely disappointed and restless with clasped hands. But I fail to understand the true position here. I cannot blame my God's spouse, as I must be having some flaws and shortcomings, and that is why the God's spouse was annoyed with me and got enraged. O friend, I have wasted my life without enjoying the conjugal bliss of the husband God, as I have never realized his greatness, and youth was spent without uniting with him. What is the use of repenting now? काली कोयल तू कित गुण काली, अपने प्रीतम के हों बिरह जाली. बिरह बिहून कतह सुख पाए, जा हुए कृपाल तब प्रभु मिलाए. विधण खूही मुंद केली, ना को साथी ना को बेली. कर कृपा प्रभ साध संग मेली, जा फिर देखा ता मेरा अल्लाह बेली. O black quail bird, what has gone wrong with you that you have been reduced to this blackened shape, and what sins were committed by you? The reply was, O friend, I have been reduced to this condition, having been separated from my beloved mate, and am burning in this separation and disappointment. how could anyone enjoy the eternal bliss without the love of God's spouse, having been separated from Him? The God would arrange to unite us with Himself only when He blesses us with His grace. This world is like a deep and horrible well, and this human being is lost alone in this depth, where there is no other friend or companion to help him out. O Vaheguru, I've joined the company of holy saints now through your grace, and I perceive the friendly God everywhere, wherever I look around. वाट हमारी खरी उडीनी, खन्यों तिखी बहुत पीणी, उस ऊपर है मार्ग मेरा, शेख फरीदा पंथ समार सवेरा. O Sheikh Freed, my route, my path is very arduous and difficult, and is just like treading on the razor blade with a sharp edge. It is rather difficult for me to proceed on this path, which is very rough and difficult. O Freed, let us be careful to think of that horrible path and mend ourselves. Suhi Lalit बेड़ा बंध न सक्यो बंधन की वेला, पार सरवर जब उबलै तब तरन दुहेला, हाथ न लाए कसुम्भड़ै जल जासी टोला रहाओ. O human, you have not made any suitable arrangements to gain true knowledge when it was opportune time, like binding the logs of wood for crossing the ocean. When the ocean is rocked with torrential and tortuous waves, it would be rather difficult for you to cross this ocean. When the old age arrives, it would be difficult to recite true name. O dear friend, this world, which looks so beautiful like kusum flower, is burning, is filled with the fire of vicious and sinful actions, which could burn you out if you are engrossed in this worldly falsehood. Pause. एक हाफी ने पतली सह के रे बोला, दूधा थणी ना वही फिर होए न मेला, कहे फरीद सहेली हो सहो अलाई सी, हंस चल सी डुमना ए तन तेरी थी सी. Some people have managed to protect their honor through listening to Guru's word. O man, you will never get this chance of human life again, just as the milk once removed from the nipple cannot be put back again. O Farid, when the call of death is passed on to the individual by the God, through God of justice, Dharamraj, then one's soul leaves this body in no time, and this body is reduced to dust. O Farid, the path of this human life is very tough and should be carefully tread without the love of Maya, and will not help us to unite with God without true name. Ik Omkar Satnam Karta Purak Nirbhav Nirvair Kal Murat Ajuni Sepang Gur Prasad Rag Bilawal Mahalla Pehla Chaupade Kar Pehla. तू सुल्तान कहा हो मियाँ तेरी कवन वडाई, जो तू दे सो कहा स्वामी मैं मूर्ख कहन न जाए, तेरे गुण गावा देह बुझाई, जैसे सच में रहो रजाई रहा. O true Master, you are the greatest king, the emperor, and I cannot describe your greatness, even if I were to call you as all-powerful and almighty. O Vaheguru, I say only whatever is dictated by you as per your will, as a fool like me cannot describe your greatness. How could I sing your praises or describe your greatness without your grace? I speak only as directed by you. O true Master, may I be bestowed with proper realization so as to always sing your praises and remain immersed in your love and devotion. Pause. जो किछ हुआ सब किछ तुझते, तेरी सब सुनाई, तेरा अंत न जाना मेरे साहिब, मैं अंधले क्या चतुराई. O Vaheguru, this worldly drama of creation has been enacted by you with one dictate of yours, which has been spelt out by your thought or deliberations. You are pervading everywhere like a friend. O true Master, what wisdom could this blind fool, lost in darkness of ignorance, have? I have not been able to find the limits of limitless God. Whatever I have stated is through your grace only, as we get to know your secrets only through your grace. क्या हो कथी कथे कथ देखा, मैं कथ न जाई, जो तुध पावे सोई आखा, तिल तेरी वड्याई. एते को कर हूँ बेगाना, पाँव का इस तन ताई, भगतहीन नानक जे होएगा, ताखस में ठाव न जाई. O true Master, your praises are beyond me, and all the books and discourses of your saints in your praise are beyond my comprehension. I could describe the greatness of God to the extent it pleases Him, whereas the rest is beyond me. O Nanak, I am like a masterless dog, whereas all other dogs are owned by their masters. They bark at thieves only, whereas I am barking at my own vices and sins, so as to cast them away from me. O true Master, if I were devoid of your love and worship, even then I am your slave, only with you as my Master. May I never forsake your true name, and all others will also recite your true name always. The God alone protects the honor of His saints. Bilawal Mahla Pehla, Man Mandar, Tanves Kalandar, Kati Tirath Nawa. एक शब्द मेरा प्राण बसत है, बाहुड़ जन्म नावा. मन बेधिया दयाल सेती मेरी माई, कौन जाने पीर पराई, हम नाही चिंत पराई रहाओ. O Nanak, I have controlled this mind in my body itself, and I wear the robes of a saint only. The fakirs and mendicants visit various holy places of pilgrimage, whereas my controlling the mind within itself is like bathing at holy places. I have escaped going through cycle of births and deaths, as the God abides within my inner self, within my soul. He is my only support, as He abides within my heart. O my Mother, O holy saints, I have inculcated the love of God in my heart and am imbued with the love of lotus feet of the God. But how could anyone know the anguish and suffering of someone else? So I do not realize the sufferings of my near and dear ones. I am not bothered about others, so why should I wail and cry for the sake of others? Pause. अगम गोचर लखा पारा, चिंता करो हमारी, जल थल महियल परपुर लीणा, कट कट जो तुम्हारी. सिख मत सब बुद्ध तुम्हारी, मंदिर छावा तेरे, तुझ बिन अवर न जाना मेरे साहिबा, गुण गावा नित तेरे. जी जंत सब शरण तुम्हारी, सर्व चिंत तुद पासे, जो तुद पावै सोई चंगा, एक नानक की अरदासे. The true Master is pervading everywhere, quite distinct from us, being too deep for a probe and beyond our comprehension. in a limitless form beyond any count or description. He looks after the sustenance of all, arranging food and drinks for everyone. O true Master, you are pervading everywhere, including all lands, oceans, earth, sky, and space in a perfect form, and your light is shining within all the souls with all its force. O true Master, my body has only your support, and all my studies, intelligence, wisdom is a result of your blessings and favors. O Vaheguru, I do not recognize any other power except you, and I always sing your praises only without worshipping anyone else. O Nanak, all the beings, big and small, have sought refuge at the lotus feet of the God who only cares for their maintenance and sustenance. O true God, I only pray to you to enable me to accept your will with pleasure, and whatever pleases you, may I be enabled to follow your will, accepting your dictates. बिलावल महल्ला पहला, आपे शब्द आपे निशान, आपे सुरता आपे जान, आपे कर कर वेखै ताण, तू दाता नाम परवान। ऐसा नाम निरंजन देओ, हों जाचिक तू अलख अपेओ रहा। The God Himself is an embodiment of Guru's word in the form of sound, and is also the insignia of entry into God's presence. The God Himself listens to us, Himself knows and understands our feelings. He Himself creates this world through His power and might, and then watches its sustenance. O true Master, you are the benefactor of the wealth of true name. The Guru-minded people bestowed with the boon of true name have been accepted by you in your court. O Vaheguru, unaffected by worldly falsehood, I am a seeker of your true name. As the true name enlightens our inner soul, whereas you are not revealing your secrets to anyone who has not perceived you. Pause. माया मोह तरकती नार, पूंडी कामण कामणयार, राज रूप झूठा दिन चार, नाम मिलै चानण अंधियार, चख छोड़ी सहसा नहीं कोय, बाप दिसै वे जात न होए, एके को नाही पौ कोय, करता करे करावे सोए. The worldly falsehood is like an ill-reputed person who enamors all human beings with charm and controls everyone with the deceitful magical powers, but all the worldly possessions, including kingdoms, riches, beauty, and transient, are short-lived, and it is futile to feel egoistic and proud about them. I only long for your true name. We have discarded this Maya after tasting it, as there is no doubt about its false charm. Such people who have owned your fatherhood will always belong to you, just as a slave belongs to master. The person who has realized the true God need not entertain any fear. In fact, the God Creator is controlling everything happening in the world, and He is only cause and effect of everything happening. शब्द मुए मन मनते मारया, ठाकर हे मन साचे तारया, अवर न सूझे गुरु को वारया, नानक नाम रते निस्तारया. O Nanak, such people who follow Guru's guidance and behave with complete humility, like behaving as a dead person though alive, have cast away their egoistic tendencies. They have stopped their wandering mind and stabilized it in one position and immersed in reciting true name only. O true God, I would offer myself as a sacrifice to the Guru who has bestowed the boon of true name on us. O Nanak, people imbued with the love of your true name have been enabled by God to cross this ocean of life successfully. बिलावल महला पहला, गुरबचनी मन सहज ध्याने, हर कै रंग रता मन माने, मन मुख परम फूले बौराने, हर बिन क्यों रहिए गुर शब्द पछाने। I've been immersed in the recitation of God's true name by following the Guru's word in the state of equipoise. I'm enjoying the bliss of God by imbibing the love of God in my heart. However, the faithless people, being devoid of Guru's teachings, are wandering like mad or foolish people. O friend, how could any human being rest in peace without inculcating the love of God in the heart with Guru's guidance and following his teachings? So it is essential to realize the true Master. बिन दर्शन कैसे जीवो मेरी माए, हर बिन जीड़ा रह न सकै, खिन सतगुर बूझ बुझाए। O my mother, how could I live this life without perceiving a glimpse of Vaheguru, as my soul cannot rest in peace without God's love for a moment even. The true Guru has made me realize the art of uniting with God. Pause. मेरा प्रभु बिसरै हो मरो दुखाली, सास गिरास जपो अपने हर पाली। सद बैरागन हर नाम निहाली, अब जाने गुरमुख हर नाली। I face spiritual death the moment I forsake worship of my God spouse and suffer badly. Now I am seeking the God all the time, even with each breath or while taking a morsel of a food. I am reciting His true name. I am always remembering the God like a mad and detached person, and get the bliss and thrill of life by reciting true name whenever I get a chance. Now I always find the God by my side through Guru's grace. अकथ कथा कहिए गुर पाए, प्रभ अगम अगोचर दे दिखाए। बिन गुर करनी क्या कार कमाए, हो में मीत चलै गुर शब्द समाए। मन मुख विछड़ै खोटी रास, गुरमुख नाम मिलै सावास। हर कृपा तारी दासन दास, जन नानक हर नाम तन रास। By imbibing the love of Guru, I always try to describe the indescribable and limitless God. The Guru has enabled us to perceive the God in a simpler manner, who is so vast and deep beyond our comprehension. How could we realize, worship, and attain that God without the teachings and benevolence of the Guru? However, the person who follows the path of God's true name through Guru's word is united with God by ridding oneself of egoism. O Nanak, the faithless person with sinful actions is always separated from God, as such a person is unfortunate. The Guru-minded people are, however, acclaimed and praised by the true Master. O Vaheguru, people who have served you, being the slaves of your slaves, they are blessed with your grace. They have attained the true name of God as the true investment in the business of life, and they cross this ocean of life successfully. Bilawal mahalla tija, kar pehla ek onkar, Satgur prasad. Trig trig khaya, trig trig soya, trig trig kapad ang chadaya, trig sarir kutumb sahit syon, chit hun khasam na paya. पौड़ी छुड़की फिर हाथ न आवे, ehla janam gavaya. Cursed be the eating of delicious foods, and cursed be the enjoying sleep or wearing rich clothes without the recitation of God's true name, cursed with the whole family along with the body if we have not been able to attain the true God so far. Once we lose the support of this ladder of human life, we will never lay our hands on this precious life again. Let it be clearly understood that we have wasted this human life fruitlessly without the support of true name. दूजा पाओ न दे लिव लागण जिन हर के चरण विसारे जग जीवन दाता जन सेवक तेरे तिनके तय दुख निवारे रहाओ. The love of Maya, worldly falsehood, and dual-mindedness will never allow us to develop the love of God in case we have forgotten the lotus feet of the God from the mind. O God, benefactor, bestower of this life, you have cast away the ills and sufferings of the people who have become your slaves, your devotees. Pause. तू दयाल दयापत दाता क्या ही जंत विचारे मुकत बंद सब तुझते होए ऐसा आँख वखाणे गुरमुख होवै सो मुकत कहिए मनुमुख बंद विचारे. O God, benefactor, these human beings are helpless before you and are your slaves, whereas you are their benevolent God, benefactor. We have heard from the holy saints that these men have been created by you and get salvation from the worldly bondage through your grace alone. The Guru-minded people get freedom from this bondage, whereas the faithless people are always engrossed in this bondage. सोजन मुकत जिस एक लिव लागे सदा रहे हर नाले तिनकी गहन गत कही न जाए सच्चे आप सवारे परम पुलाने से मनमुख कहिए न उर्वार न पारे. People who are always immersed in your love and are always reciting true name, always hidden from the world that cannot be described by us. Such people have been bestowed by God Himself with beauty and charm which is beyond description. However, those people devoid of God's love are called self-willed, faithless, and they never get any peace either in this world or the next, as they find no way out on both the sides of the ocean of life. जिसनो नदर करे सोई जन पाए गुर का शब्द संभाले हर जन माया माही निस्तारे नानक भाग होवै जिस मस्तक काले मार बिदारे. O Nanak, such people were blessed with the grace of the true Master. They get united with the God by following His guidance. The true Master has bestowed salvation on His devotees even though they live as householders in this world. The fortunate Guru-minded people, they are predestined by God's will. They get emancipated from the cycle of births and deaths by throwing away the fear of death as they get merged with the God. बिलावल महला तीजा अतुल क्यों तो ले आ जाए दूजा होए त सोची पाए तिस दे दूजा नाही कोए तिस दी कीमत किको होए. The God is the greatest power beyond any count or measure, so how could we evaluate His greatness or consider His vastness and virtues? If there were another power except for God on par with Him, then only we could realize His greatness. Since there is no other power equivalent to the God, no one could ever gauge the depth of the God. गुर प्रसाद वसै मन आए ताको जाने दुविधा जाए रहाओ. The God's love could be inculcated in the heart only through Guru's grace, and the person who rids himself of his dual-mindedness could realize the true God and his form. Pause. आप सराफ कसवटी लाए, आपे परखे आप चलाए, आपे तोले पूरा होए, आपे जाने को सोए, माया का रूप सब तिसते होए, जिसनो मेले सो निर्मल होए, जिसनो लाए लगे तिस आए, सब सच दिखा लेता सच समाए. The Guru wants to test everybody like the jeweler testing gold by melting and grading it. After carrying out trials, God enables us all to follow the right path. He himself weighs or evaluates individuals, and then we could realize the single true form of the true God. The form of worldly falsehood which we see in this world is actually created by the God himself, but people who are united by the Guru with himself, they get purified. The people who are blessed with the love of God only, they get imbued with his love. Then such people, they get the realization of truth in this life and merge with true God. आपे लिवतात है आपे, आप बुझाए आपे जापे, आपे सतगुर शब्द है आपे, नानक आख सुनाए आपे. O Nanak, in fact the God himself engages some people in his love, while some others are engrossed in the love of worldly falsehood. The God himself is the Guru and he himself is his teachings. We may say that God himself delivers his message to himself only and then attains salvation. Bilaval Mahilla Tija साहिब ते सेवक सेव साहिब ते क्या को कहे बहाना ऐसा एक तेरा खेल बनिया है सब में एक समाना. My God and Master has made me his servant and blessed me with his service. How can anyone argue about this? Such is your drama. One and only God, you are the one who is contained among all. Satgur parchay har naam samana, jis karm hove so satgur paaye, an din lage sehaj dhyana rahao. When the true Guru, Satguru, is pleased, one is absorbed in his name. Those who are blessed by God's mercy, they find the true Guru. Day and night, they automatically remain focused on his meditation. Pause. क्या कोई तेरी सेवा करे, क्या को करे अभिमाना, जब अपनी जोत खींचे तू स्वामी, तब कोई करो दिखावखियाना. How can I serve you, and how can I be proud of this when you withdraw your light, O God and Master, who can speak and teach? Ape Guru Chela hai ape, ape guni nidhana. ज्यों आप चलाए तिवै कोई चाले, ज्यों हर पावे भगवाना. कहत नानक तू साचा साहिब, कौन जाने तेरे कामा, इक ना कर में दे वड्याई, इक परम पवह अभिमाना. You yourself are the Guru, you yourself are the disciple, the humble disciple, and you yourself are the treasure of all the virtues. As you cause us to make any movements, so we do them according to the pleasure of your will, O true God and Master. O Nanak, you are the true God and Master. Who else can know your actions? Some, they are blessed with glory in their own homes, while others, they wander in doubt and pride. बिलावल महला तीजा पूरा ठाठ बनाया पूरे वेख एक समाना इस परपंच में साचे नाम की वड्याई मत को तरो गुमाना. The perfect God has fashioned his perfect creation. Behold that God pervading everywhere in his creation. In this drama staged of this world, there is the glorious greatness of the true name. No one should take pride in oneself. सतगुर की जिसनु मत आवे सो सतगुर माहे समाना. ए बाणी जो जीव जाने तिस अंतर रवै हर नामा. Rahau. Such beings who understand the wisdom of Satguru, they merge with the Satguru himself. The name of Vaheguru abides deep within the nucleus of those who realize the Bani of Guru's word within their soul. Rahau. Choh juga ka hun nibeda नर मनुखानो एक निधाना. जत संजम तीरथ ओना जुगा का धर्म है कल मह कीरत हर नामा. Now there is the essence of the teachings of all the 4 ages for this human race. The name of the one God is the greatest treasure for everyone. Celibacy, self-discipline, pilgrimage, these were all the essence of the dharma in the past ages, but in this current age of Kal Yuga, praise of Vaheguru, his name is the essence of dharma. जुग जुग आपो आपना धर्म है सोध देखो वेद पुराना. गुरमुख जिन्नी त्याया हर हर जगते पूरे परवाना. In every age that has been, there has been a separate essence of dharma. Let us study the Vedas and Puranas and understand this truth. They are the Gurmukhs who meditate on God, Har Har. In this world, they are perfect and they are approved. कहत नानक सच्चे स्यों प्रीत लाए चूखे मन अभिमाना. कहत सुनत सभे सुख पावे मानत पाहे निधाना. O Nanak says that loving the true God, the mind's egoism and self-conceit is removed by listening and speaking of Vaheguru's name. All find peace. Those who actually believe in it, they obtain the supreme treasure. Bilawal mahalla tija गुरमुख प्रीत जिसनो आपे लाए तित कर पलावल गुर शब्द सुहाए. मंगल नारी गावे आए मिल प्रीतम सदा सुख पाए. That God himself attaches the Guru-minded people, Gurmukhs, to his love, and then in their home the joyful melodies are always pervading, and such people, they are embellished with the word of Guru Shabad. The women, they come and they sing the praises, the songs of joy, meeting with their beloved God. The lasting peace is obtained by them. हाउ तिन बलिहारै जिन हर मन वसाए हर जन को मिलिया सुख पाइयै हर गुण गावे सहज सुभाए रहाओ. I am sacrificed to such beings whose minds are filled with Vaheguru. Meeting with the humble servants of God, we find peace and happiness, and we effortlessly sing the glorious praises of God. Pause. Sada rang rate tere chaye, har jiyo aap vasai man aaye. आपे शोभा सद ही पाए गुरमुख मिलै मेल मिलाए. Those who are imbued with your love, they are always in your joyful love. O dear God, you yourself come to dwell in their minds. They obtain the glory that lasts forever. The Gurmukhs, they remain united in the union of God. Gurmukh rate shabat rangaye निज घर वासा हर गुण गाए रंग चलूलै हर रस पाए एओ रंग कदे न उतरै साथ समाए. The Gurmukhs, they remain imbued with the Shabad, the word of their Guru. They abide in the home of their own being. They always sing the glorious praises of God. They are always dyed in the deep crimson color of God's love, and they always look beautiful. Their color never fades away, and they remain absorbed in true God. अंतर शब्द मिट्या अज्ञान अंधेरा सतगुर ज्ञान मिल्या प्रीतम मेरा जो सच राते तिन बहुड़ न फेरा नानक नाम दिड़ाए पूरा गुर मेरा. When the word of Sadguru came to abide inside, the darkness of ignorance was removed. Through Sadguru's knowledge and wisdom, I was able to find my beloved God. Those who are imbued in the truth, they do not come into the reincarnation again. O Nanak, I have obtained the Naam, and through Naam I have obtained the God deep within. Bilawal Mahalla Tija पूरे गुर ते वड्याई पाए अचिंत नाम वस्या मन आए हों मैं माया शब्द चलाए दर साचे गुर ते शोभा पाए. Through the perfect Guru, I obtained all the glory and the greatness. The name of the God spontaneously came to abide in my mind. The egoism and the Maya, worldly falsehood, has been burnt away by the word of the Shabad. Through the Guru, now I have obtained honor in the court of true God. जगदीश सेवो मैं अवर न काजा अन दिन अनद होवै मन मेरै गुरमुख मांगो तेरा नाम निवाजा रहा. Now I only want to serve the God of the universe. I don't have any other work to do. Day and night my mind remains in bliss. As Gurmukh, I beg for that bliss-giving Naam Rahau. मन की प्रतीत मन ते पाए पूरे गुर ते शब्द बुझाए जीवन मरण को संसर वेखै बहुड़ न मरै ना जंपे खै. From the mind itself, all the mental faith has been obtained and the realization has happened. Through the Guru, I have realized the Shabad, how rare are such people who look upon the life and the death as the same. Such person never dies again and never has to see the messenger of death again. करही में सब कोट निधान, सतगुर दिखाए गया अभिमान, सद ही लागा सहज ध्यान, अनदिन गावे को नाम. Within the womb of the self are the millions of treasures. The true Guru, Satguru, has shown all of them to me, and hence all my egoistical pride is gone. I keep myself in meditation, focused on that cosmic God. Day and night I sing the one Naam. इस जुग में वड्याई पाई, पूरे गुरते नाम त्याई, जय देखा तह रियाज समाई, सदा सुख दाता कीमत नहीं पाई. I've obtained all the glories in this age from the perfect Guru, and by meditating on the true Naam, wherever I look, I see him pervading there. He is forever the giver of peace. His worth cannot be estimated. पूरे भाग गुर पूरा पाया, अंतर नाम निधान दिखाया, गुर का शब्द अत मीठा लाया, नानक तृष्ण बुझी मन तन सुख पाया. Through my perfect fortune, I have been able to get the true perfect Guru, and he has shown me the treasure of Naam inside me. Now the word of Guru seems very sweet to me. All the thirst is quenched now. Both my mind and my body have found perfect peace. Rag Bilawal Mulla Chautha Kar Tija, Ik Omkar Satgur Prasad. उद्दम मत प्रभ अंतर जामी, ज्यों प्रेरे त्यों करना, ज्यों नटुआ तंत बजाए, तंती त्यों वाजय जंत जना. That God is full of all the intelligence and efforts, the inner knower God, the searcher of hearts, as he wills, that's how everyone acts. As the musician plays upon the strings of the instrument, so does that God play the living beings. Jap man Ram naam rasna, mastak likhat likhe gur paya, hirday har basna raha. O my mind, chant the name of Vaheguru with your tongue. It is because of the destiny written upon your forehead that I found the Guru, and that God abides within my heart. Pause. Maya gir sat pramat hai prani, rakh le wo jan apna, jo prahlad harnakas grasyo, har rakhyo har sarna. Entangled in the Maya, this mortal wanders around. Save your humble servant, O God, as you saved Prahlad from the clutches of Harnakash. Keep this person in your sanctuary, O Vaheguru. Kavan kavan ki gat mit kahiye, har kiye patit pavana. ओह टोवे टोर हाथ जम जम रे, हर उदर्यो पर्यो सरना. About who all I can describe, whose state and condition can I tell? O Vaheguru, there are so many sinners who have been purified by you. Ravidas, the leather worker, who work with hides and carry dead animals, was liberated by entering God's sanctuary. प्रभु दीन दयाल भगत पवतारन, हम पापी राख पपना, हरदासन दास हम करियो, जन नानक दास दासना. O God, O merciful to the meek, carry your devotees across the world ocean. I am a sinner, save me from sin. May you protect the sinners like me from such sinful actions. O true Master, you protected your devotees from the worldly bondage. May you accept us also as the slave of your slaves who guide us on the right path. O Nanak, I am the slave of your slaves.